Hey, how is it going again, Guardians? LVnative here with another video for you. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at some changes that were recently announced that are going to be coming into effect as of February 14th. That's right, Valentine's Day is going to be bringing a very large weapons balance patch. And in my opinion, it is way overdue. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and take a quick look at
the feature comment of the day.
And today's comment comes to us from Mr. Gavin Ing, and he says, "This should be the featured comment of the day because the featured comment of the day voice is so fun." Is it?
The feature comment of the day.
No, I think I have to agree with you, Gavin. It is pretty fun. So thank you very much for that. And guys, remember, if you want to be the featured comment of the day, all you have to do is hit that like button, drop a comment in the section below, and I just might pick yours to be the very next featured comment of the day. So basically what happened is, very recently, Bungie just had a stream where they highlighted some of these new upcoming changes for the patch 2.5.0.2. And I am going to be covering everything that we know as far as this change coming up and then give you my thoughts on it. So let's get this started. So first off, we have a couple of global weapon changes. First, all primary weapons have received an in-air accuracy buff. It's going to be a lot easier now for you to get your shots on people when you're in the air firing with any primary weapon. Also, they fixed an issue where high caliber rounds wasn't working properly with certain weapon types. I'm not exactly sure which ones those were, but apparently there was bugs or just wasn't working right on certain weapons, and apparently they have fixed it, so all good things in that department. Alright, now let's give some of those slow firing auto rifles a little TLC, because Bungie definitely already did. They are going to get an increase to their base damage as well as get an increase to their critical multiplier from a 1.25 to a 1.3. Doesn't sound like a huge change, but this affects, like I said, the slower auto rifles. So the Suros regime, Shadow Price, things of that nature. They are now going to be doing increased base damage and doing more damage when you get those crits. It's going to result in a faster time to kill. So pulse rifles, nothing needed to be changed with those, right? No, Clever Dragon, Grasp a Malak, perfectly balanced weapons. There's no need to touch them. Yeah, I'm just kidding, and Bungie didn't think that that was something to take light at either. They are getting destroyed in this patch. So brace yourself for this. If you're a big fan of stuff like Clever Dragon, as I am, you're gonna shed a little tear if you haven't already seen these changes. So basically, the reduced rate of fire for your super high rate of fire pulse rifles. So your Clever Dragon, Grasp a Malak, the very fast firing ones, they have had their fire rate dropped by 7.7%. I think Bungie just didn't know exactly how much to drop it, and since they have an affinity for the number 7, they just decided to make it 7.7. At least it wasn't 77.7. On top of that, high caliber rounds generate less flinch. So you're not going to be able to flinch all those snipers out quite as easily. And all pulse rifles have had their flinch reduced. So not only is just the overall flinch on all pulse rifles reduced, but also high caliber rounds generates less flinch as well. Which again means my God rolled Clever Dragon isn't going to be popping people's heads around and not making them be able to fire back on me anymore. And I'm a little salty about it. That's okay, I'm just going to have to probably find another weapon that's going to work. Now, another specific nerf to the Grasp a Malak and Clever Dragon archetype is that they have had their magazine size also reduced by 6. So that's 2 full pulses for either of those weapons. You're not going to be able to take on multiple people as easily anymore, as you're more likely to run out of ammo and have to reload when you're trying to get that second and maybe even third kill. But cheer up, guys, it's not all crippling depression and loneliness for you pulse rifle lovers. The high impact class, the slow fire high impact, aka stuff like the Messenger, Spare Change, things of that nature, they've all had their fire rate increased by a rate of 5.3%. So they'll be able to get that 2 burst off quicker, and if they get any other tweaks to where it can reliably 2 burst people, I think this will be another very viable option again. And I loved, in year 1, the Messenger that I got from the Lighthouse, my Adept version. I absolutely loved that and shredded people with it, and I'm looking forward to possibly being able to do it again. I know it won't be at the current light level, but in regular PvP, I can still have a whole lot of fun with it. So the old saying goes, whenever one door closes, another one opens, and that particular door in this instance is going to be for hand cannons. So while Bungie has really taken a big nerf hammer and slapped the hell out of the pulse rifles, they've lifted hand cannons back up to take its place, I think. So listen up, if you're a hand cannon user, I think you're really going to like some of these changes. So across the board, all hand cannons have had a significant increase to their initial shot accuracy. That very first shot is going to land much more often than it currently is. Now that does not mean that you can spam and keep getting a lot. This is just for that first shot. So you're still going to want to pace your shots a little bit, be a little bit more patient, and you'll be rewarded for it. You still can't just spam them. However, to help, make up for this little bit of an increase, they are going to reduce the base range by 5 meters. Also, they have reduced the max range damage reduction from 50% to 33%. So you won't be penalized quite as much if you're outside of that, perfect range for your hand cannons. And that's always a nice thing that they don't punish you too bad for that. So no changes were made, like I said, to the bloom or for, what people like to call the ghost bullet effect. So you still have to pace your shots. Don't just go spam happy and think you're going to gun everyone down, because it's just not going to work. Take your time, aim, pace your shots, and now you will be greatly rewarded with your hand cannons. Okay, now let's talk about some special ammo changes in PvP, because they are quite significant, and these changes right here are going to really overall change the way I think PvP is played. They're that large. So let's get into it. Players start matches with special ammo in every match, but you will lose any special ammo you have whenever you die. So if you go in carelessly with shotguns, just trying to get a bunch of kills or whatever, and you get taken out, there goes all of your precious shotgun ammo. So you need to be a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more careful with how you play, or you're going to suffer with only having primary ammo. It really seems like this one particular change is going to try to generate more primary ammo play. That is a good thing. That's what a lot of people have been asking for a long time. If you're someone who only relies on special weapons to get your kills, you're going to have quite a few less kills, because you're just not going to have, that ammo around. Also, one thing I fear is this could possibly start to create a very campy playstyle with snipers, because you're in fear of losing, all your ammo when you get killed, so you might just stay in the back and, just in your spawn sniping people. I hope it doesn't come to that, because that would turn into a very boring playstyle, especially for things like trials. So hopefully it's not so significant that it completely changes to that, because I think an aggressive game style with a lot of primary fire would be a really good change, and it would be a lot of fun to play. So I'm hoping it kind of goes in that direction. So the crates, as far as how often they spawn, used to be it was 3 minutes into a match before the first one would spawn. Now it's going to be 60 seconds into a match. So 1 minute in, you're going to get special to spawn, and every 60 seconds you're going to get special to spawn. So it's going to be spawning a lot more often, but again, you will lose any that you have if you die, so there's a little bit of a balance right there. Also, they've reduced the radius for your special ammo pickup from 100 meters to 75 meters, so whenever one of your teammates opens up a special crate, if you want it, you're going to have to be a little bit closer to them when they go ahead and open it, otherwise you won't receive it. Now, one thing we definitely need to address that they've changed as far as the special ammo goes is your players only start with special on the first round, and the first round only, of elimination, aka trials. So I don't know if that means, the very first round everyone's going to have special ammo, but regardless of how much you stockpile and pick up a bunch maybe during that first round, everybody is going to have 0 special ammo at the start of every other single round, and you'll have to wait 1 minute before you can do anything as far as special ammo goes. So this also is going to very much increase the amount of primary gunplay that we're going to see. I'm a little scared with this change. I hope it's not too drastic, but it definitely will affect how we play PvP from here on out. So let's talk about all the big, huge, horrifying changes that have come to sniper rifles and fusion rifles and your sidearms as well. That's right, there are no changes. If you were liking them before, keep using them because you're going to love them. The same, however, cannot be said for good old shotties. The shotguns have been blasted yet again, so if you're a big shotgun user, brace yourself because this one is gonna hurt. I personally think that the best way to deal with pain of this magnitude is to treat it like a band-aid, and we're just gonna rip through it as quick as we can and then start recovering. So, shotguns have significantly decreased magnetism now, and they have removed all of the aim assist when hip firing. Means a lot of those mid-air shots that you thought you were going to be landing all the time, you're going to start missing a lot more of them. And on top of that, they've also, just as a blanket, decreased the in-air accuracy. If that wasn't bad enough, they've also removed all precision damage from shotguns. However, the Chaperone Universal Remote, when you're aiming down sights, it does not affect that because they have perks specifically related to the precision damage. So those are going to be okay. But all other precision damage on shotguns has gone away. So no longer will you be able to fly through the air and land on top of someone and get the insta-kill because it's all treated as headshot damage. Not only are you probably going to miss a lot of those pellets because of the decrease to the accuracy, but you're also going to do a lot less damage because you're not getting any precision damage perks from any of the pellets that happen to land in the head. This is going to result into a lot less people dying from one shot to shotguns, and you're going to have to finish up with that melee if you want any chance of killing a lot of these targets now. However, they did decide to give you a 20% buff to shotgun damage, but only in PvE to help make up for the loss of critical damage. So for PvE players, they kind of helped you out a little bit, but I don't know people who use a shotgun that often in PvE to begin with. But when you do, you're not going to notice too big of a difference down there. However, the one perk that everybody always wanted to make sure they saw on every shotgun was rangefinder. That might not be the case anymore because they have increased the aim down sight time of rangefinder on all shotguns by 25%. What this means is when you go to aim down your sights, it's going to happen a little bit slower than it used to if you have the rangefinder perk equipped. So if you want that extra range, which let's face it, you do with shotguns, you are now going to be penalized by not being able to aim down your sights quite as quickly. But, on a little bit of a buff, a little bit of an increase, they have removed the agility decrease when you're wielding a shotgun. So yay, I can no longer kill anybody with it, but at least I won't be slowed down while I'm carrying it. Yay! Thanks for that one, Bungie. I'm only kidding, guys. Everyone, I think, knew that this change was going to be happening, or maybe not this exact change, but you knew shotguns were going to get destroyed in this patch because that's all everyone complained about. And let's face it, in PvP right now, everywhere you look, you see Clever Dragon and Matador. Clever Dragon and Matador. Oh, Grasp of Malik and Matador. What a change. So this is going to, create some variety. You're not going to just automatically grab your Matador or whatever God-rolled shotgun you have because it's just not going to be quite as effective. I think we are going to start seeing a lot more fusion rifle play. Snipers as well will see an increase, especially because of the people who fear on, losing that special when they die. But all the people who used to run shotguns, I imagine you're going to see a lot of them running fusion rifles now because they haven't been changed and they were already pretty good. They were a good counter to shotguns. And now that shotguns are far less powerful, I just think you're going to see a huge increase on the amount of other special weapons. I think the biggest winner out of this is going to be fusion rifles. I believe, as my prediction, some may say snipers, a few people might even say, sidearms. My prediction is that fusion rifles are going to take the place of the shotguns in the new meta once it settles down. We'll see how accurate that is. Alright, now let's stop talking about all these weapon nerfs because I'm getting a little depressed, and let's go ahead and move on to the specific changes to a couple of the classes. First up, Titans. Your Juggernaut disables quicker when you're in midair, and your Juggernaut can no longer be activated while you're in midair. So all those Titan Skating Juggernaut shotgun wielders out there, bye-bye. I don't think you're going to see any more of those because of that change. I'm a little disheartened on it. I loved using that type of playstyle with my Jug Shield, but the problem is so did so many others, and it was really painful, to play against, so they've gone ahead and fixed it. Hunters. Your Hungering Blade for your Blade Dancer now immediately grants you health, instead of immediately starting the regen of your health and your shields. All it does is give you health immediately. What this means is you're going to be feeling a little bit less powerful when you're roaming around, and finding out those 1 to 2 individual people to hit, it's not going to feel quite as powerful with Hungering Blade. However, I do think that it will work a little bit better now if you're going into a group of people to kill, as you're going to get an instant, chunk of health after every kill, instead of it just starting to slowly regenerate. So I think that's going to give you a little bit more survivability when you go into a group of people, but you're going to feel a lot less effective when you're roaming around picking off people one at a time. At least I think that's how it's going to, affect it. I can't be certain, but that's what it feels like. Also for hunters, your throwing knife is now classified as solar damage in PvE. Yay! What we always wanted. I don't think that really changes anything, but there it is. And lastly, Warlocks. Reduced your Stormcrawler melee range, and Landfall now reduces your total time in Storm Trance. Let's face it, everyone has been mapped by that ridiculously long range melee, especially from a Stormcaller on the Warlocks. That, I'm hoping it's been reduced quite significantly, but it's supposed to be put in line with the other Warlock melees, which were all still having a pretty good range. But that Stormcaller melee was way out of hand. So, we're going to see a lot less of ridiculousness on that. And also, if you have the Landfall perk equipped, it reduces your total time in Storm Trance. That's a little weird. I didn't see that one coming, because I didn't feel that Landfall was such a game-breaking perk that you had to penalize people who decided to use it. Most people use Ionic Blink, especially competitively. Not many people use Landfall, because Landfall is just too situational, but Ionic Blink is a god, tier to have when you're using Storm Trance. So I think that would have made a little bit more of sense if they said Ionic Blink reduces total time instead of Landfall. But there it is. Landfall, I don't know if you deserved it, but you got smacked on the head as well. Okay, also real quick, I wanted to say that Blink, not everyone was using that ability, but it got a pretty good nerf as well. Whenever you blink, you're going to lose your radar for a short amount of time as you come out of the blink. So it's going to be a little bit harder for you to track enemies just as you blink, and it's going to leave you a little bit probably discombobulated, and it's just going to affect how you can track enemies right after blinking. And not that we saw a lot of people using Blink, but we're probably going to see a lot less of it now. So there you have it, guys. That's pretty much all the changes that we know of that they talked about in that Bungie stream. There is going to be more to come as soon as we have some detailed patch notes, either on or near the 14th. I will do my best to get all the numbers straight and let you know exactly everything that has gone through a change. In other news, we got some really good news for Destiny 2. We have always, at least suspected that the date would be somewhere around the end of 2017, right around the fall. And it looks like that is still going to be a projected launch time. And they have confirmed, they actually had a investors call. And during that call, they confirmed that the release date for Destiny 2 is still on schedule for late 2017. So that's good news. It appears currently we are not going to see any type of delay into 2018. I think that would be really detrimental to the company just because of its core base that has desperately been wanting some new content, and a new game entirely would definitely fit that bill. So I know I'm excited about it. I'm sure you guys, if you're still watching this video, are definitely excited about that as well. As long as things stay on track, that means we should definitely have a brand new fresh sequel to Destiny before the end of this year, and I for one cannot wait for that to happen. Alright guys, so in that comment section below, let me hear it. What do you guys think about these announced changes? What do you think that they did right? What do you think they did wrong? What would you like to see in the final patch notes? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about that, so definitely drop your thoughts down in that comment section below. I promise I read through all of them. And again, I just would love to get a discussion about this on what you think this is going to mean for as far as the meta goes, and whether you like or dislike some of these changes. Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. But as always, guys, this is LVnative. You guys are awesome, and I will see you in the next one.